close, Kev. What are three teams you see that you think killed it this draft, this season?
To Treylon Burks, because like to the Titans, because like AJ Brown, Treylon Burks, $100 million rookie contract. So like,
yeah, and then you got the other. Then Malik Willis falling all the way to the Tennessee Titans, who take him.
Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with.
What's going on, guys? This is Totally Blitzed podcast. These are your hosts for the show. You already tell, you got the Dolphins ambassador, Paul Pickham, Wyndham Concha here, and I'm joined by
Kev Waterboy, Kev 360. Hold on, 360.
Ooh,
Windmill Savoy. You feel
Unk
me?
on them boys.
That's what we do out here in ATL. You feel me? Know what I'm saying? But
Is
it was good with you, Pod.
Is that how you feel about? Is that how you feel walking out the draft?
Yeah, man. You know I'm coming, man. We had a couple of dunks. You feel me? We had a dunk on you a couple of times. We ain't really throw up no floaters, no layups. We ain't get no weak ass O lineman that ain't gonna do shit. We got some dogs. We got a couple of dogs.
Got some dogs in there now. Got some dogs in the locker room.
We got some
Smith building.
We got it. We got a bold motherfucker. So I will bring a chip to this city.
Oh, that was I like that. I'm
saying he said he will. Like he could have said I'm thinking about it, or it would be nice to.
I hope to.
Hey, bitch ass motherfucker. I'm bringing. Hey, babe, we can get into that in a second. You feel me? Hey man, what's up with you, man? I like talking football, man. I feel like there's so much stuff going on in the recent days, and like I just finished my semester. Just to start off with a nice football episode. It's good. How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Even though we didn't have a pick until the third round, I looked at it as like a Tyreek Hill first round, Taron Armstead second round. Those are A+ across the board picks right there. And then we finally got on the board third. So even though my team didn't have a pick till late, I honestly had probably one of the funnest drafts I've had in a while. Just the watching it, people falling, our reactions, the live. You know, if y'all didn't catch it, we had a whole 3.5, 4 hour live episode, spectacular, going through every pick day one of the draft. Go check it out. But shit, bro, this shit was fun. No lie, bro. I was on my you were Kev Kuiper and I was Paul Glazer. We was out there calling the picks, having fun, getting fucked up, bro. I was sauced by the end of that video.
I was high as fuck. That shit was crazy.
There was only one survivor from that 12-pack, and it's here with me today. I'm gonna crack it open. Whew. But with this, before we get into the whole draft, before we get into our teams and like other teams, what are some like the first 2 rounds or even 3 rounds? Some names that you like. What's some picks you really liked walking out of that day one draft? Because we really didn't get to recap that draft.
I think Aiden Hutchinson is a great pick, no matter where he went, first, second, death match to the beginning, death match before the draft to see who can get him beforehand. But like, man, fuck you. my dog arms are perfectly fine, man. He can still slap the shit out of bitch ass motherfucker if you need to. That's all that matters. You feel me? Aiden Hutchinson was a good one. Thibodeau was a good one.
And you're gonna need to playing in Detroit.
Yeah. But I thought Thibodeau was a good one too. I thought that was another good pickup. I really liked Garrett Wilson to the Jets. Wilson to the Jets. Oh, that shit is a good pickup. Like Zach Wilson and him better get some like Wilson to Wilson action going on. Kyle Hamilton might be one of my favorite picks because at 14, that's a good pick right there.
Once a clear-cut top 5 stud before the combine and numbers start coming out. So
and then matching them up on that team where defense is culture, and then you got people like Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters,
Marcus Williams, the new safety on the other side now.
He was a baller last year, so like, and the injury, like everybody probably going super hard because like the injury bug kind of got them last year, so everybody going crazy in the weight room. Yeah, I like that pick right there. I like him to make a couple of things shake.
Yeah, the Ravens balled out this draft.
Yeah, there was a couple of good ones. There was a couple more in the 20s, but I gotta think about it. Oh, Devin Lloyd, that was a good one. That was a good one. But
Did he
that's
get
more
to go watch? Did he get to go watch some tape on that boy, bro? That boy's a dog.
cost a little bit. But my favorite, no, I think bro out of Florida alum, Kajiri alum going to the Bills, that's what they needed right there. Like I told you, they needed something for against the Chiefs. They was gonna get something to play against the Chiefs.
Shit, I know I had a bet that was at plus like 150, a cornerback to go to the Buffalo Bills. I felt solid with this. So them taking that boy, I don't know too much about him, but from what everyone tells me, that boy truly is a one-on, like he can lock down one-on-one. He is that guy. But yeah, bro, you hit on. I think Devin Lloyd's gonna be a sleeper, especially. I thought he might go top 15, so it's kind of hard to say sleeper. But now that he's 27th to the Jags on a defense where I think he immediately starts, like that boy really might be like the super sleeper that we're talking about, like all Pro Bowl for the next few years. Packers, I think they made some good picks. Like even though it wasn't a wide receiver in that first round, their best wide receivers are off the board. There was kind of a big jump from those guys who are the top 6 receivers to the next people. But getting Quay Walker, who was like the heart and soul of that defense on Georgia, but like they needed someone in that interior linebacker. And then Devontae Wyatt, another Georgia dog. Like they just got 2 of the best Georgia defenders. Bring them back. Like you see how well that works. Pairing people that already know how to work together. But I don't. If I was to say my favorite pick of the draft, I really like the more I thought about it, the more I really like Ike Iguanu to the Panthers. You didn't need a quarterback here. You could wait. They even got Matt Corral like all the way in the 4th round, who was some people had him a late first rounder, 32nd pick, maybe early second. So like you didn't have to waste picks. You didn't have to. You got best available, and then you got a quarterback that might work in your system. But Icky, I know Kristen McCaffrey's happy because like if you're really running that's the offense. You got Kristen, and now they finally got a zone blocker who will maul defenders. So, but this is one of my favorite things about the draft because teams that didn't matter 6 weeks ago, now all of a sudden we're walking out of the draft and we're just like how we just like I'm looking at the Panthers like, hey bro, y'all might do a little something this. Like I'm looking at the Giants like, hey bro, y'all got Evan Neal and Thibodeau. Like y'all make a little noise. Like the Lions getting Jameson Williams trained up to get probably who I think is one of the better receivers in the drafts, and Aiden Hutchinson. It's that hope, that hope that these teams, like those teams that now that like, oh, my guy's a star. You haven't even seen him play a snap in the league, and yet, like, I'm saying the same thing. Devin Lloyd's gonna be a stud. I haven't seen him play a single snap, but like this, that hope, and that everyone has people so high.
I like it. I love this shit, man. This shit is fun. Like I've never been a big draft guy, but just looking at players, coaches get players and thinking like, damn, he would look kind of nice over there. Like, damn. They did need one of them. Like, oh shit. And like Jameson Williams on one side and Amon St. Brown on the other side. That's an issue.
And then TJ Hawkinson, who was a top 5 pick at tight end, which never happens a few years prior.
And then if y'all do bad again, get a quarterback next year in the draft. I'm just saying.
And in a draft that everyone, so the next year's draft is graded so high, like Miami even said, because people were like, maybe Miami trades up to get a player that they want in the 2nd or 3rd. Miami GM said that like those 2023 picks are untradeable. Like those don't even think about them. Like, and that should just tell you how high people have this next draft class coming in.
I respect it. I think I like that center pick. Didn't they grab a center? The Ravens.
Which one? Tyler Lindenbaum at 25.
That was a really good pick. I think that was a slept-on pick because they needed Brad. I think they let a couple people go. But I think the most questionable pick is to Treylon Burks to the Titans because like AJ Brown, Treylon Burks, $100 million rookie contract. So like,
yeah, and then you got the other side of it that's like a already proven, hasn't had a snap yet. So it's like a comp AJ Brown, but then there's been 100 receivers drafted in the first round that weren't AJ Brown. But then you have what if he is AJ Brown and he's playing on like a Justin Jefferson deal, and it's like there's the risk outweigh the reward. Tell you the Giants didn't give a fuck. Not Giants, the Eagles.
But the money they're gonna have to pay Justin Jefferson, he might break the market. Like he's gonna break the market, and then Jamar Chase gonna break it. The Bengals are gonna have to match that.
More money in cap space those years and this past year's contracts. Like, yeah, I co-sign that 100%.
That, but yeah, them boys are dogs.
So I like Linderbaum. I think I was hitting on him before. I was saying like he's the best center. He's gonna come in and be all pro kind of guy. But on the flip side, the most questionable pick to me would be that Cole Strange at 29 out of Chattanooga. Hey, bro, I know Bill Belichick is a fucking genius. I know he's goated. He's a media Hall of Fame coach, one of the best. But if this was not Bill Belichick, if this was the Dolphins, if this was the Bengals, the Vikings, Jaguars, Jets, any other team that doesn't have that kind of pedigree coach with them, this would have been Mel Kiper would have been out of his seat screaming about how bad of a pick this was, because I mean, people can say Sean McVay was just joking around, but I think it was kind of like a passive aggressive joke that like this guy was ranked in the hundreds and yet y'all taking him within the first 32. Like, ha ha ha. Like, that's a little like no team should be looking at a guy in the hundreds and then that guy should be drafted in the top 32. That's just my opinion on things. I mean, he could immediately be a top tier guy, but it's just like you could have got him in your second round pick, your third round pick, even if you wanted. But second round for sure. Like, I thought they'd go with cornerback. Like, there was still like you had Andrew Booth on the board still, and they got rid of Jackson. Who's the number one corner over there that's coming next year?
And they traded back.
Yeah, you could have traded way back and got Cole Strange. And then Kenny Pickett. I'm not saying it's a bad pick. I'm just saying the Saints are off the board. The Seahawks are off the board. The Washington, the Texans, every team that needed a quarterback that everyone thought was going to take quarterback, they already went. They didn't get quarterback. And I just feel like there were some defensive talents that that would have fit the Steelers really good. But they went quarterback here. You get the need. But I think with the way the draft went, you could have probably traded up into the early second or like, I don't know. I think there was better options than going quarterback here just because there were other teams after you were not going quarterback. Like the Chiefs weren't, the Packers weren't, the Bills weren't, the Cowboys, Ravens, Patriots, Bengals, Vikings. No one was going quarterback. Like, so you got your guy, but I think you could have waited maybe a little bit to get a better defender or something.
Here's my thing. I think
let me hear it.
That was a great pick. But I also believe that every defensive player, every player until Cole Strange could have been a better pick. But they need a quarterback. They're showing that they're going to start a quarterback battle. You got to win the room. You still got Mason Rudolph. You picked up Trubisky. Now you got Kenny Pickett. But they just did it the Steeler way. You feel me? The Steelers aren't about doing a million different things. And they really don't need a quarterback all the way to win every game for them. So, like, they did it the Steeler way. They probably only had, like, 5 quarterbacks in the last 500 years. So, like, motherfucking – they're like, yeah, let's get him late in the first round so we don't got to pay him too much. And then, Pittsburgh story. Pittsburgh, he went to Pitt, came through, and now he's blowing away. Because he got an arm and he got weapons. And, like, if they could, I would understood if you went O-line, maybe get the O-line all the way together so that way.
Linderbaum.
That's what I said. Every pick until Cole Strange could have been a better pick. But that was good. They picked him up. They liked it. I think when I look back at it, I feel like Kenny Pickett was probably a better pick than Malik Willis. He fit that system well, and he's an athlete, and he's going to go out there and try to get the wins. And, like, that's all you can want because the Steelers play ugly, close games. And, like, you got somebody that can throw you out, that you can throw in the fourth and get you back into a 10-7 game or get you back into a 14-6 game. Like, that's somebody you want. So I think he's a baller, and I think that was a good pick. And I think it was just the Pittsburgh way to do it like that. They had to. They had to.
No, I'm not gonna say it's the worst pick because I'm pro Kenny Pickett with his small hands, but I just think we probably could have waited just because by the time they picked in the second round, no quarterback still went. So, but you never know. Shit, they didn't take him there. Someone trades up and gets him. You never know.
I'm not gonna lie though. It took me everything in my power on the live stream not to make a joke about like if he has small hands then his dick look bigger. So you come in with some big dick energy. Then I heard it on the Pat show and I died laughing because I was like, not if his hands only 9 inches, this shit must be look huge, gigantic to bitches. So he knows what he's doing. He knows how to woo a crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm too faded for this.
Well, before we head into any particular teams we want to talk about, is there we gotta talk the how was this? Oh, the second round. Y'all boys, or did y'all get that boy in the second round? Or the third round? Third round came around. Malik Willis still on the board. As a Falcons fan, I think a lot of Falcons Twitter was going for Malik Willis, but y'all got Desmond Ridder. How do you feel? How do you feel about the new Falcon quarterback, maybe of the future?
I like Desmond Ridder, and I like the timing that we got him in. So it's not like he has to go start motherfucking tomorrow. Like he gonna figure that he gonna get some time, learn the system a little bit. Let Arthur, because you see what Arthur Smith did for Ryan Tannehill. You've seen it. We've seen it. So I like it. That's a good pickup. We're rebuilding, and we're looking like we're getting out of a fashion of throwing that bitch deep. Like, hey, Julio's down there somewhere. Calvin Ridley's down there somewhere. Like, motherfucking, fuck it. Motherfucking, what's bro that switched to the motherfucking Bucks, the bum ass jit?
Oh, he had a good little run. What's his name? I can't remember his name now because I was using him in fantasy football. He had a nice little run.
Because he switched to the Bucks, he's defective. But
seemed happy about it too.
Yeah, so happy. I don't know. I guess defectors. But didn't get no bag after having a good season, but defectors. But he so we're getting rid of that fashion. We're probably getting into a more versatile fashion, have more versatile players like a Cordell Patterson, like probably get into some Debo sweepstake next offseason. Like it looks like we're getting into a fashion of a kind of like an unpredictable play style. So you don't want to throw it too deep. And if we do throw it deep, I think we're going to be looking more like a Kyle Pitts and Drake London up the seam, which I wasn't a big fan of the pick early. I was more of a Drake. But when I look back at it, he's a baller. He was ranked number 1, so that's probably why they picked him. And that's the system they want. They don't want to just they want somebody that's going to go fight hard to get us those 3rd and 4s because everybody going for it on 4th down. So 4th and 1, you'd rather have a 4th and 1 than a 4th and 4 or a 4th and 5. And Mariota, he's going to try to get that bitch up out of there. So, like, I like our 2 picks. I like those 2 picks.
Hey, Mariota openly came out and said that, like, he is all for it. Like, he's ready to teach him everything that he needs to be taught. And, apparently other people have came out and said Mariota is probably top 1 teammate they've ever had. Like even if he's not playing and stuff. So that is a good system to have a young quarterback to come into.
I think we're setting it up. I feel like we got to respect the vision. If there's a vision, we got to trust the process. Shit won't get done in 2 years. Like I think if we got it, as long as we don't go down, unless it's like due to injury or suspensions. As long as we're not continuously downtracking, I feel like we're building something. It's gonna take some time.
On the low, you know. All right.
And like our division is gonna get weaker and weaker, so like we're not worried about nothing. Maybe Kenny Pickett. We were scared Kenny Pickett was coming. Nah. And like we got in a year, the biggest deals we're gonna have to worry about is motherfucking Kyle Trask to Chris Godwin and Jameis Winston and Chris Olave. After that, like we're not really stressing nothing. So like I feel like our divisions are getting a little bit weaker, so we're just going to build within the next 2-3 years. And I think they did a good job. How did you feel about the Dolphins, though?
I just want to say real quick, don't sleep on the Panthers, Matt Corral now. But with the Dolphins, hey, we didn't get a pick. We didn't get a pick all the way. I mean, we had to wait But we wait, and I think we actually hit a home run on the draft pick. We had to wait all the way to day 3, round 3. I think it was like pick 103 or something. All threes.
How are them Tyreek highlights?
The Tyreek Hill highlights are nice. First round Tyreek Hill highlights were going crazy. Second round, I got Taron Armstead mauling motherfuckers. Third round, I see George. So this kid's gonna be something special. Hey, bro, it could be the Miami biasness in me, but this is Georgia's backup linebacker. And the only reason why he wasn't starting was because Quay Walker, top 20 pick in the first round this year, was in front of him. But he was so nice as a backup. He had like 5.5 sacks, 67 tackles, on a national title winning defense on Georgia. And like, he was just one of those players that are so nice that even though you have Quay Walker, you had to get him on the field. So he didn't have as much tape as other people, but just off of what, like, this kid's explosive. He can run, and he fits our system because he's fast. He runs like a 4.4 for a linebacker. He had the fastest 40 times since 2003, they said, for a linebacker. Like, his metrics are off the chain. So him coming in onto our already super fast defense that loves the blitz, like they said, like, if he goes to a defense, it has to be a blitz heavy defense that runs man.
Oh, y'all can run, man.
That's exactly what we run. We run a cover 0 defense, a lot of blitzing, people moving. Like, we'll have people, it looks like we're blitzing 10, and the next thing you know, we're all spaced out playing zone defense. It looks like we're playing a weak defense. Next thing you know, we got 8 people blitzing all up the middle. So it's like, I think he fits perfectly here. We needed a linebacker, and we got probably one of the more slept on ones just because he wasn't a starter on his team, but his team was loaded with top like the first round talent on defense. If this was George, like if he would have stayed a year and played next year and was a starter linebacker, I think he potentially could be a first round, second round pick.
I respect it. I want to see what he's talking about.
Hey, but we had some people falling. There are 3 names that I think are the most notable. We have to talk them because that's one of the, I like them. A lot of people don't. We had Jeremiah Williams. I'm not Jeremiah Williams. Jermaine Johnson fell from Florida State defensive end, fell to the 26th, and the Jets traded it up to the first round to get a 3rd first-round pick. Then Malik Willis falling all the way to the Tennessee Titans, who take him, I believe, was it the 3rd round? Yeah, 3rd round pick. They take Malik Willis. And Nakobe Dean, who was the best defender on that Georgia defense, who was supposed to be a top, like best linebacker by far, would have been the top 20 pick. He fell all the way to the Eagles, and I believe he went, was it day 4? No, he went day 3, but he went late, like another 100 and something. Right here, 83rd pick, Nakobe Dean, and he was projected on everybody's mock drafts top 20. We'll start with the Malik Willis story because I think that's the biggest. I love the fit on the Titans. Tannehill has 1 or 2 more years on that contract, and I don't think he's gonna get another massive bag. So that's perfect for it. Like, it's similar to the Falcons getting Riddler. Like, he's in a situation where he doesn't have to start immediately. They can get him ready, and then he kind of fits. Like, he's faster than Tannehill, but Tannehill has mobility. He has a decent arm. And so Malik Willis is somebody who plays more athletic than Tannehill, but has similar style. So, like, I think that's a good mentor in front of him. And, I mean, I think him to Treylon Burks could be a surefire threat for the next few years if it really pans out.
Treylon Burks was my favorite receiver coming out of the draft. I didn't think he was the best. I just like him as a talent. Big, strong.
Arkansas didn't have a quarterback, and it didn't matter.
He lined up on everywhere, everything schemable. He lined up and schemed on motherfuckers. So I liked bro. I'm not gonna lie, I liked bro. I liked Malik Willis. I was expecting somebody to pick him up in the 2nd. I thought it was a either or when it came to the Seahawks, not the Seahawks, the Steelers. I thought the Seahawks might have tried to look at him just to look at him because but they trust in Geno Smith and Drew Lock, so it's to each song. They'd probably be in the Archie Manning or whatever Manning that is. They're trying to get in that sweepstakes. They're 4 years from now, like, yeah, man, we gotta make sure we got cap space. We gotta pay the Manning, man.
Gotta wait a little bit, yeah.
We gotta wait a little bit. We gotta get that. We gotta get that number one. But we'll see. We'll see how the boys turn out because I feel like they can still have Derrick Henry. Maybe if Derrick Henry can pick up his production back to his normal production, so Ryan Tannehill can go and them boys can mesh a little bit and figure stuff out, and then like maybe get that boy some playing time and some garbage time, or like if there's an injury because there were so many injuries on that team last year. So that was two. Those were two studs. They just got to see if them boys can grow.
Yeah, and he has the highest ceiling, everyone says. So like if he comes into training camps, I want to say in first year, but let's say he comes to training camp and he's balling. Like even Patrick Mahomes, you could just tell like this guy's different in those training camps. You can still play that 1 year on Tannehill and then kind of maybe look at it as like a Trey Lance, Jimmy G situation. Like, all right, we got two good quarterbacks. One's cheap, one's not. We can trade one, open up space, and then we can attack other points of our offense or defense. But that's all if Malik Willis pans out to be like that guy that he is supposed to be. I hope so. In the third round, I give it an A+ pick. Like him in the first round is when it gets a little iffy on that talent, that he might be a bust, stuff like that. But getting him in the third round, having a late flyer on who might be a potential Pro Bowl quarterback, yeah, I'll take it. Then you have Jermaine Johnson, who was supposed to be a top 10 pick, almost guaranteed, falling down. And then the Jets said, fuck it. Y'all gonna let him fall this far? We'll get rid of a second rounder and some change to get him. Walking out with three potentially top 10 picks this year throughout the draft. I mean, even if you want to talk Garrett Wilson, he kind of slipped too. He wasn't supposed to be the second one off the board and at the 10th pick. So they kind of got a couple snags at the slip.
There we go. Could have been either or, but fuck this lighter, dog. I'm gonna get this child work off show.
And then my personal favorite fall was Nakobe Dean, just because how talented he was, and like everyone, even the analyst, the every show I went on to was just like, what's wrong with Nakobe Dean? Is there something trending that we don't know about? Is there an injury? So apparently he has a list of injuries that he always had. And then he has a pec injury, like a torn pec, a shoulder injury, bicep injuries, ankle injury throughout his years. So then the talent is there, but he has a shoulder injury that he didn't get surgery on. And he isn't or something like that. And that was an immediate red flag of not drafting him in the first round. And then he falls all the way here to the 83rd pick to the Vikings, who trade up and get him because he's someone who should have been the top 25 pick. So, like, if he doesn't get hurt and he is good to go, that could potentially be the steal of the draft. That right there is like, wow, he really fell. Because he was in the green room, I think, day one. And to be there on day 3.
They are same seat.
When people are tweeting out like live as sort of like what's wrong with Nakobe Dean, like reporters, like that's when you know it's like it was a weird moment where it goes from, oh damn, like I enjoying this guy slip to this like somebody draft this kid. Like, yo, like he's the best talent on the board by a margin. And like they were almost getting a little disrespectful because they were drafting other linebackers who were ranked like 8th in their linebacker position, 7th, 9th, and he was 1 on almost every board, number 1. And people were like, I mean, no disrespect to the person being drafted. You're a good player, but Nakobe Dean is on the board right now. Why is Nakobe Dean not, like, what's going on? Like shit like that was going on, and I was just like, it made good TV, but this is why we can start talking divisions, because I think the Eagles kind of hit home runs on this draft. I mean, trading up to steal the Ravens draft pick and Jordan Davis, and then trading up and getting another Georgia dog and Nakobe Dean, these are both considered like top 3 players on that defense last year.
Oh, that's crazy. Andrew Booth Jr. Oh, his games with Georgia. I was about to say,
Andrew Booth Jr. He went to the Vikings, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a great pick for the Vikings. They needed I thought they'll get a top tier corner in the top 12 pick, but getting that guy in the second, he's like another good value pick at that. Like he might be a stud. And you said you wanted to talk some divisions or something.
Yeah, there's certain divisions I feel like there are certain divisions that scheme for each other. Like I think your division probably was a fun division that schemed for each other, but I think the Cardinals, the NFC West, the Cardinals,
Seahawks.
49 Seahawks. You feel like they were kind of watching each other in this draft, like, oh, whoa. What you mean you got Hollywood Brown? Hold on.
I know for damn sure the Rams were. They didn't have no fucking picks.
Nah.
That's all they were doing was watching. No, but the Cardinals, I think they were the domino effect. The moment they went to go get Hollywood Brown, that's when I felt like the Seahawks, the 49ers, everyone else was just like, oh, like this team, their offense was already hard to game plan for, but now they're definitely going to be hard to game plan for. And like, I'm trying to double check these picks because
yeah, how do you feel about that trade? Let's talk trades. How do you feel about that trade?
Oh, that trade, I like it. I think for both, because how I look at it as Hollywood Brown was never, in my eyes, gonna be considerable to me a top tier wide receiver. I never was pro Hollywood Brown. I thought he was speedy. He wasn't at the best footwork. He has a lot of drop catches when he's open, which I always like. Kenny Stills, he gives me that PTSD of Kenny Stills, and so he had them flaws, but then he talked like he's big dog, like he's one of the Adams and Debos of the league. So that's one always rubbed me wrong. But I also will say that's due to the Ravens game plan. No knock on Lamar, but he's not the most perfect passer, and he runs the ball a lot. So when you're snapping back for 40 passes, but then 10 or 15 of those are runs, it's kind of hurting your receivers. And then Mark Andrews is now the number one target, clear cut. And then they run a lot of screens with running back. So they're eating up a lot of targets that isn't Hollywood Brown. So I think him being the number 2 option on the Cardinals is better for his career than being a number 1 target on the Ravens. And that should say a lot, because that's going to hurt the Ravens' chances of picking up any top tier wide receiver in free agency for Lamar. Because what top tier receiver watching Hollywood Brown basically be okay? Like, he requested multiple trades. He was already gone before the draft happened. Like, he was ready to go to the Cardinals. That's his boy. That's Lamar. Him and Lamar, both of them are South Florida. They're both homeboys, all that stuff. They have that connection. And to watch him want to leave that situation, what top tier receiver is going to want to go to the Ravens if, like, at that point? Because it's like, okay, like, the Ravens are a running team. Their scheme's not going to make me look good. So I think that's how I looked at it. Like, it's good for the Ravens. You got some talent now. You can draft. I think Hollywood was never going to be worth the number 1, like a top 20 pick on that offense for them, but he's going to shine somewhere else where he doesn't have the double coverage and stuff like that. And he has probably a more pass friendly offense. But I think it's bigger on the Ravens. Like, what wide receiver seeing this is like, yeah, I want to go play over there right now, because like, I don't know. To me, that's kind of scary for like free agency means for them.
I don't think so. I think not necessarily. I think he just wanted a different place, because he probably was upset too. Because think about it. And all those 4th down games that they lost, they never even once thought about going to him.
Yeah.
So, like, there's probably like something there. And
he did say it's not Lamar. He said it's the Ravens scheme. He's like, there's no way I shine here in the Ravens offense. It's too run friendly.
Mm-hmm. And then the games, they're over here. They're trying to break the records for they wanted to keep that record of 100-yard rushing and stuff like that. So, like, they're kind of on if we're running the ball, let's run that shit. But like a lot of if the run game isn't working, that's when they start like forcing passes and stuff like that. If you look at a lot of his best plays, they were kind of more like not unethical, or like it was just like they weren't normal, just straight up plays. They were more like the boys kind of had to make something work, make something shake a lot of times. And it's easy to do that with Mark Andrews with having hands like that. So a lot of his big plays was like Lamar running out of the pocket, and then he just kept running. The defender didn't know.
The
defender didn't know what to do, so he got dumped off to him, and he made a huge game from it. So like scored. So like I feel like that scheme, he wants to play more of a explosive spread offense scheme. And him and Kyler Murray played in college together. So like, and then Cliff Kingsbury said Kyler Murray was kind of upset that they traded up to get him. Why didn't they trade up to get Hollywood Brown too? And Cliff Kingsbury played against them boys in college, and Hollywood Brown lit them boys up for like 200 yards. So you understand how
Kingsbury coached Temple though. That's not hard to do against Temple. Them boys were ass.
That's a lot of yards. So like he understands. He was looking at the film like, damn, this man is a fucking playmaker. If I ever had a chance to get him in the league, I'd get him. Like, and that's what he did. So like, and Lincoln Riley showed he can go double back and ask Lincoln Riley about him. So I think it was more amazing how they kept this shit on the low, because this was a trade that was in the works, and he said only 4 people knew of him, and he was one of them. So like, only 3 other motherfuckers knew, and like, they probably got to both be owners. So like, not too many motherfuckers knew about this one. He kept it really on the low, and that was hard. So like, I think it was a good trade on both sides. They got Kyle Hamilton, and they got that center later. So like, the Ravens had a great first round. They got 2 needs. And the fucking, they got more depth at receiver, and they needed that because after D-Hop went down, what happened? So I think that was a good trade on both sides. We'll just see if it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I just want to see how it affects the rate. Like, outside the draft, I'm gonna make my bold prediction now, but I don't think any top tier wide receiver is gonna sign with the Ravens for the next few years. Like, I would say like 3 years, and I think that's gonna, like, that might hurt Lamar coming back too, just because they'll win, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's kind of scary for their future with wide receivers.
I think they're gonna get somebody because, well, they've always been deep. They've have a culture there. Like, they have a culture of defense and great running. Like, they've never not had that. Like Ray Rice, Ray Lewis on the other side. Like, they've always had a great culture of great, and they have the same coach from that culture. So like, I think with them boys, it's more about like, can you get Rashard Bateman to take a step? Could you get a vet? Could you guys sign a vet? Like, and then that top tier receiver would be, they're like, damn, I do like Lamar, and the boys got some cap space. I think that's how they get him. But like, I think you are right though. Like, it doesn't look good. I just feel like they need to stick to what they're doing, and I think they're up to something with that defense. Like, their defense can get healthy, and we'll see what happens. Because like, if Lamar left, I don't know. Like, I don't even want to get into that, but I feel like it just doesn't look good. Like, I don't know about Lamar leaving.
Yeah, no, I don't like his, like, I think they built that, like, when Harbaugh drafted him, he was literally like, we'll make the playbook around him. Like, that, why don't other coaches understand that? Like, he's that great. But yeah, no, it's similar to Debo. Like, you're in a system that works for you. Let's not break it if it's not broken. But back towards the draft, the Ravens had a big, I think the Ravens had one of the better hauls, because I mean, even they got a Jobo, who was Michigan's outside linebacker, who was like a top 30 pick, but they got him in the second round. So like you said, they just complete like another pass rusher. Like, if the Ravens didn't already have a great defense, they just keep stacking up on like killers, like legitimate killers on this defense.
So yeah, the Ravens did good. I'll give them that.
One weird one I've heard people talk about. Kenneth Walker III, Michigan State running back. He was in the Heisman talk. Him going to the Seahawks in the second round when they already have Chris Carson, who does get banged up pretty good amount, but he's a good running back, really good running back. And then Rashad Penny, who, if you remember, was having a breakout year towards the end of last year because Chris Carson was getting hurt. And they could have got Malik Willis, Riddler. They could have got Matt Corral. There was a lot of all the quarterbacks still on the board to pick it at this point. But they go with a third running back. A lot of people don't really like this pick. I feel like it just muddies that running back room that you already are good at.
Yeah, and they do be having running backs come out of fucking nowhere. So this might be another one of those stories. But hey, I don't like it, but they're up to something because they got rid of a lot of shit. So like, did they get any great defenders though?
So right before that pick, they took Minnesota's linebacker Boy Mappy.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not bad. He's one of the top outside linebackers that was ranked. He's like 6'4", 250, 260. He's fast though. Like he has a fast speed. So he's like their team wasn't that good on defense. They lost Bobby Wagner. So this is a pick that I think makes sense to solidify that linebackers group again. But that's but going right afterwards, you trade because they traded up and people thought, oh, this is the pick. And then they didn't get him. They get the linebacker. And then they're like, okay, next pick. They go back to back. They'll get the quarterback. So then they go running back. And it was kind of odd. There's some dogs I want to talk about on the wide receivers. George Pickens going to the Steelers. He fell to the second round. He was Georgia's number one wide receiver, big boy. Think of Traylon Burks. That's a big body receiver that has a huge catch radius. Steelers Juju's gone. They still have Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool, but I think George Pickens, like, they really like having three good receivers for some reason. Yeah, the only reason he fell really too is because of some off-field stuff too. So if he gets his shit right, he really might. And they got Kenny Pickett. So like, if Kenny Pickett has weapons. And then we had back-to-back. Like, this was the reason I bring up George Pickens is because he was the first receiver, and then it went Alec Pierce to the Colts, and then it went Sky Moore to the Kansas City Chiefs.
One more time, where'd George Pickens go?
Georgia.
No, where did he go to?
Steelers.
Oh. So
Kenny Pickett got some weapons.
Yeah, and I hope he gets to start, man, because like he's one of those I feel like he can do better on the field type.
Yeah. Hey, I like that pick. I don't know much about Alec Pierce to the Colts. Maybe he's nice. Sky Moore, I know everyone's been talking about might be the sleeper wide receiver of this draft. So going to the Chiefs, that completely helps him. John Mechie going to the Texans in the second round, I thought was a nice pickup. The Alabama receiver that tore his ACL in a championship game. So hopefully he comes back and he can ball. But the biggest question mark at receiver was when the Giants, who picked before any of these other people that just went, they traded up and they went and got Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky, who was like the 15th or 18th ranked wide receiver. And they skipped over Mechie, they skipped over Pickens, Sky Moore, and these are all people who are ranked top 10 at wide receiver. So maybe they see something that we don't see, or this might just be another because people thinking when they drafted Kadarius Toney, it was a reach. Like, he wasn't a top 20 pick, but maybe the Giants doing something. I like their early picks in the first round, but the second round pick was you're a receiver guy, but I don't think this guy was cream of the crop that was left.
I feel like the Giants couldn't do no wrong though. Like, you feel me?
They were riding a hot hand.
That's the Texans and the Giants were two teams I feel like couldn't do no wrong. Like, as long as you got somebody that's willing to get in there and get dirty, because y'all gonna play some dirty ass 10-7, 13-7. Like, y'all gonna play some dirty games. Like, you just need people that's gonna go in there and just play, and then next they have that next man up, because Giants players stay getting hurt. Like, that's an injury bug that's been around for like 20 years, maybe. Like, motherfucking
new regimen in there too.
I feel like Giants can't ever do no wrong as long as they get dogs, and that's what they did.
And then you have Kristen Watson going to the Packers. Big old 6'4". I think he was like 210. But he went to North Dakota State FCS school. So it's kind of hard to grade him to other wide receivers that went to like FBS schools. But I think at the odds came out, him to be the rookie of the year was 50-1. Him potentially being the number one wide receiver in the draft, on the draft, but the number one wide receiver on the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. This is a perfect fit. Like out of all the second round receivers, I think he's in a situation that can immediately be make impact. George Pickens too, and Sky Moore maybe, but him particularly. Who else has he got? Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb's almost 40. He's not throwing the ball to Randall Cobb that much. Lazard's nice, but like they lost Devontae Adams and MVS. Yeah, Kristen Watson, 6'4", 210, ran a 4.4. Yeah, I think he's gonna be the number one guy.
Hey, you said it best, man. How much was the line for that boy?
Plus 5,000, bro. 50-1. Put $10 to win 500. Put 100 to win $5,000. I just think those odds are a little disrespectful for somebody who may be a wide receiver. Like, I mean, Devontae Adams was second round, first wide receiver off the board. Maybe the Packers, Jordy Nelson was like third round when they got him off the board. Maybe they see something, and they both were nice when they came in. Well, as this draft comes to a close and as our draft recap comes to a close, Kev, what are 3 teams you see that you think killed it this draft, this season right here, 2022 draft?
I think when it comes to teams that didn't need much and they just needed to fill in some gaps and try to catch a couple good players, a couple studs, a couple dogs, a couple savages, I think the Bills did that really well. I think they grabbed the corner,
the Florida corner.
Yeah, the corner, Florida. And I liked how they grabbed James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother,
Georgia.
They grabbed him like the third round or so. So he might be able to help out Josh Allen because Josh Allen's a truck himself. So like somebody in there could do some things. I like the Ravens. I like how they made the trade for it. They knew something had to go. They got something on both sides. They got a guard. They got a center, and then they got the safety Kyle Hamilton. So that was really good for their teams. And I think I really like the Jaggies. The Jaggies, I think those boys was good. But they got Trayvon Walker. They got Devin Lloyd. But I really gotta stick with the Titans because they picked up my favorite receiver. I didn't think it was the best, but it was my favorite, Treylon Burks. And I liked that they got Malik Willis, who was my favorite quarterback coming out. So if them boys can mesh and they can build them boys with Vrabel, you like them big, stocky motherfuckers anyways.
And they got that corner in the second round, third pick, Roger McCreary out of Auburn.
So I like that. I got to rock with them boys. They did their thing.
So,
but good draft.
No, everyone, I feel like, as of now, everyone had a good draft. As of right now.
Especially since there's no quarterback drama. Like, this quarterback has to do good if you're still coming into a league. Like, nah.
No, we don't have that. I think the winners for the draft, first one, I'm going to co-sign the Ravens. Like you said, the Lindenbaum, the center that I think immediately is going to be an all-pro center. They trade back, not trade back, but they trade and get him, and they get Kyle Hamilton, who might be the unicorn safety to immediately, like on that defense. Like he might be the Minka Fitzpatrick of the draft, where like he was a little bit later. People already had him highly touted, but he might be that guy. Then they get Ojabo from Michigan, who is just a truck of a dude, and like he was a first round talent before he got hurt. Even some people said top 15 talent till he got hurt. So getting him in the second round was a steal. I think the Eagles had a good draft this year. They get AJ Brown to pair up with Devontae Adams and Jalen Hurts. Like I feel like they're going all in with Jalen Hurts. Like this is, hey, we're giving you the team. We got you a good running back, good wide receivers, and we have a good defense. And then they trade up and get Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle. Like no one wants to run towards him. Like up the middle, like that's gonna be a scary dude on a good Eagles defense that prioritizes the D line heavy. Like I always say every year, that defense is okay, but they have one of the best front sevens. So like him going there is gonna be a great fit. And again, I just think AJ Brown, yes, Treylon Burks is a comp to him, but AJ Brown's already AJ Brown. There's no like question mark. Like you already know what you're getting with him. And then let's see. Oh, don't forget they also got Nakobe Dean, who was supposed to be a top 20 talent, and then they get him in the third round, like just throw a flyer on him. Yeah, no, I think this was a great draft for them. But then my last pick, I want to say the Lions, because they did get who everyone thinks was the most NFL ready talent, and Aiden Hutchinson, and they also had Jameson Williams, who I think might have the best career out of all these wide receivers, and I think that all these receivers are still very like they're all good. But they didn't really make much noise outside of, in my opinion, outside of that, like a little like those two picks. Their second and third rounders weren't really much. And I'm trying to think because I had a pick and then I kind of forgot it because I'm a little faded right now.
Nah, I'd be like that for real.
Oh, the Panthers. Just because I would pick them because I feel like no one's making that noise from them. I already hit on Ike Ekwonu, a mauler on a run-heavy offense with CMC. DJ Moore going to be doing some end-arounds and stuff. And he can play multiple positions, and he's fast. So him coming off like a block and having a like their what's his name? He was the LSU play caller when Joe Burrow and them, and that's how he got his job. Matt Rule. Yeah, so he has some funny plays up the trick with DJ Moore, CMC, and we can get a nice blocker that has like that can run a 4-5 and shit in front of them. Like that's kind of scary. And then they also got what's his name? Matt Corral in the third round, who a lot of people had maybe going 32nd, being the second or third quarterback off the board. But being able to get him, I think that's similar to like Riddler. Like you're being able to get him in the third round, kind of get him to develop. Sam Darnold's not the future. Matt Corral came from Lane Kiffin's offense, which is an NFL offense, and he runs RPOs, which I think the Panthers like he has one of the fastest releases in college. He had one like that's a perfect fit for what they run. Like they're gonna get the ball on screens, short passes, little like that's how they do it. Running RPOs with CMC, like I think he's a good fit for the next few years.
I like it, man. I like it. And I like the Falcons too. I think we made some good picks. We got Drake.
London.
and then we got Desmond Riddler, and then we got the linebacker. So I think we made some good pickups. Hopefully we can make something shape with them boys and just continue to build. And then Tyreek Hill,
Taron Armstead, Channing Tedell. We came solid. That was a solid draft haul, I think. Solid draft haul.
Nice. But all right, man. This has been Totally Blitzed, man. And we appreciate you. If you ain't tuned in, go at least go watch a little bit of that motherfucking draft spectacle. That shit was spectacular. And we gonna let you with we're not even gonna call y'all bitches today. We just want to let you know if you watch this, we fuck with y'all. The NFL's still coming. Watch the fights tonight if you got a chance to, because I'm gonna be sleeping. But hey, man, I'ma holler at y'all boys. It's your boy Lil KK, Kev Waterboy Savoy, and I'm here with Paul Pick'em, Winnie Cox, and it's been Totally Blitzed, and I lied because he's a big
problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this